Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey there, everyone. It's a pleasure to see you all here. And as a matter of fact, I'm having a little giggle myself that there are actually so many people here this evening. So we are a smaller group than usual, but we're actually a bigger group than I expected. And why? Why is that? Well, folks, I'm sure you've noticed that tonight is a full moon. So we're getting to do the psychic hour this August right on the full moon, which is especially nice because it raises that vibration and everybody's a lot more psychically sensitive, including you. The thing is, this particular full moon happens to have Neptune connected very closely to it, only 6 degrees away in the same sign. And it's creating this tremendous sense of, do I have the right time? Is it the right day? Gee, how come I got so wrapped up in all the stuff that I was doing today? Where did the time go? So it's absolutely amazing to see as many of you on this call this evening as there are. And I want to say I really appreciate you being here because I know that given the transits going on this evening, it probably took a lot of effort to make this happen. So welcome. And I have another giggle that Lisa and I can share together. Lisa, of course, is my assistant that you'll see in the chat room. I was actually ready to do this call last Sunday. I had prepared early. I had everything set up. I was just about to come and sit down in front of my computer, and I got a little text from Lisa that says, "Why am I thinking about you?" And I wrote her back and I said, "Because we are going to be on in about a half an hour." And she said, "No, we're not. That's next week." So as you can see, the particular full moon that this psychic hour is happening on is really doing wonders with our organization, our sense of timing, our being able to fit as many things into our day as we need to. Also, unexpected health issues, which could include anything from a headache to, breathing problems to just, something getting in the way that was somebody else's either health issue or thing that they needed you to do. So there are all kinds of interesting things going on under this particular full moon. And, we've had other psychic hours on full moons. This isn't the first. They're always wonderful because that full moon energy really intensifies things. It also emotionalizes things. And this particular full moon has the moon in our chart this evening, this horary chart I'm looking at, in the house of the subconscious. That's the 12th house. And there it is conjunct Neptune that rules that house. So there's all kinds of things emotionally that are coming up for everybody. And not just for you, but for your family and your friends. And these things that are coming up are things that, maybe you're in avoidance about, or maybe you are just having to get a handle on it and can't quite figure out how to approach it. Or maybe somebody else has approached you and wants help from you, and you're struggling, trying to figure out how to give that help. This is just a very interesting full moon. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see what you folks come up with this evening in your questions. That's what the Psychic Hour is about. I see a lot of familiar faces here. I also see some new people on the call. I want to welcome you. It's nice to have you here. And I know everybody already knows the rules, but I'm going to put them out there just so that the folks who are new to the call will know how this proceeds. First of all, I always get a few people before the psychic hour who will send me their questions. Folks, I've got to tell you, I don't even look at them because I don't want any of that in my mind before I come on to work with you. So anything that comes in, I'm just either throwing it into the trash or I'm forwarding it to Lisa. If I think it's important, she may call on you during the session. But I'm not looking at it because I don't want my energy to be focused to one person when I can have 100 people on the call, okay? So just be aware, if anything hit me before the hour, that you can consider I don't have it. So if you get called on, you can ask your question. But if you don't get called on, be sure to write that question to me again, because I do have a rule that if you don't get your question answered during this next hour, that any time up until 9 p.m. tomorrow evening, 24 hours from now, you have my gift to you, the opportunity to ask me and my guides one question. Only one, simple, short, and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. And of course, that's not always the same day, but I try to be as fast as I can. So here's how it goes. If you have a question, when you come on, raise your hand. And when Lisa sees the little hand, you'll see it on the top of the column next to your name. When you see that hand go up, when Lisa sees the hand go up, she will know that you have a question. And she usually will first call on, because she's the one who's going to call on you, she usually will first call on people who are new. And then she'll just kind of meander and try and call on people that she feels haven't had a chance to ask a question in quite some time. If you are shy, or if you're in a place where you're not able to talk, or you don't have a microphone hooked up to your computer, you can still type your question into the chat room here. So go ahead and type your question in, and when that happens, Lisa will actually read the question to me if she feels it is a good question for me to answer for everyone. And how does she base that? If she thinks that this is something which a lot of people on the call are going to benefit from, then she'll read that question out and I will still answer it even though it's in the chat room. And of course, Lisa is in the chat room, so you can also ask her a lot of questions. Don't be afraid to bounce things off her that are, if you have questions about my classes or my readings, these are all things that she can answer and loves to do that for you. Okay? So, when you get called on, here's what you're going to do. You're going to give me your name, and a first name is fine, where you're from, because we want to know. I get people from all over the planet, and it's always fun to know who's here, who's connecting. So your first name, where you're from, what you're most grateful for right now, this evening, and then your question, okay? So your name, where you're from, your sun sign, left that one out, what you're most grateful for, and then your question. So five things that I want to hear from you when you get called on. Now, before we jump into our questions, I do have a couple of announcements I want to make for you folks. First of all, please write it on your calendar right now if you haven't registered for it already. The next Psychic Hour, September's Psychic Hour, is September 30th, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay? So write it on your calendar, and you can always sign up for those ahead of time right through my website. Another really important announcement. For those of you who haven't checked through my whole website or haven't gotten my newsletter, you may not know this, but all during the month of August, I am running this absolutely insane 20% off everything sale. So we only have one more week left until the 31st. So do yourself a favor, and if you want to get a reading with me, if you want to sign up for the Psychic Development class that is going to begin in January, and I believe that's going to start on January 16th. If you want to buy any of the courses that are on my site, you get 20% off if you do it right now. For the Psychic Development class, I have to tell you that is it's already discounted right now because it's an early enrollment. And then 20% off on top of that, you're practically getting one whole class free. It's absolutely an amazing, insane deal. So, as soon as we're done with the psychic area, go browse the website and see if there's something you can't live without. Because I don't do this particular sale. I mean, it doesn't happen where everything on my website is 20% off. It just doesn't happen. So this is amazing. It's a great opportunity. And one thing I do want to mention, there are a few exclusions on that, which if you go to my website, you'll see written out. Like the psychic cruise next spring can't be included in that because you're paying the cruise ship company, not me. So there are a few things like that that I cannot discount. and the ad says it right on it, or else Lisa can tell you. Another thing about that 20% discount, go to the site and browse to see what you want. But don't order it on the website. Write your email to Lisa, lisasainc@aol.com, and say, Lisa, I want to get such and such, please invoice me, because she's the one who's going to give you that 20% off. This is not something that's coming through the website. It's coming through Lisa. And I have to tell you, she absolutely loves it. And so you're going to get this absolutely fabulous deal. And Lisa loves being able to give that to you because she is this most generous, wondrous person. And it comes from her heart because she's the one who's actually making that happen. So thank you, Lisa. Now, more announcements for, it's a little early, but it's there, for September. Now, remember, at the end of August, my 20% off everything on the site sale goes away. But I'm going to be doing a 50% off sale for my Tarot Readers Program Part 1 and Part 2. And again, that's another insane offer, but it's only for the Tarot program, 50% off Tarot Part 1 and Part 2. And if there's anybody on the call who, and I think I did see a couple of names, who have studied the tarot with me, you bought my MP4s, or you studied with me in person in Tampa, or maybe 30 years ago, you actually studied with me in the basement of my house on Long Island. I don't care how long ago it was. If you have studied the tarot with me, guess what? You're going to get that for free. So again, you've got to contact Lisa for that. Lisa, sainc@aol.com. Identify yourself. Say, guess what, Lisa? I took the tarot classes with Sandy. I should get those programs for free. And she's going to give that to you. This is a fabulous program. I just put it together. And you can, it's lesson by lesson. You can go through at your own pace. And you can do it on your iPhone, on your iPad, your tablet, your computer, your TV, if it's internet capable, any electronic device. You can be sitting there looking up your cards. It's just fabulous. So you'll notice right here on my chart that I've got, I have a, I'm trying to get my cursor up here, sorry. I have this link. This will take you, the orange writing, the second row, this will take you to a free report that you can download of the short tarot card meetings that I did. So you can get that for free. But this isn't where you would sign up. Okay, don't sign up here. What you need to do is go to the website, and on the website you're going to see that 50% off deal. I think it's on the website. I might be wrong. If I am, Lisa will correct me in the chat room. But if in doubt, contact Lisa, sainc@aol.com. And of course, here's my website to go to. And that is September's offer. But you're going to find it on my website right now, because my IT gal kind of jumped the gun on it, and there it is. It's out there. So right now I've got both of those sales running at the same time. Oh dear. This is really kind of fun. Also, when you go to my website, you're going to see that I have all kinds of targeted readings listed now. I found that a lot of people wanted my reading specials that I had done at various times over the last 5 years. So I've listed all the different readings that I have done, all the targeted readings. So now you can pick any one of them. And guess what? Because of that 20% discount, they're still at that $200 rate instead of being their normal $250. So, okay, I'm done with my announcements. Lisa, who has our first question?
Well, the first victim for tonight, and I don't recognize this name. This is Joy. If I can get her. Joy, it says you're self-muted. Can you unmute?
Oh, can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, good. So my name is Joy, and I'm living in Ohio, and I'm a Cancer, and I'm most grateful for family.
Which figures, since you are a Cancer? The reason I say that, folks, Cancer is the sign that rules family. So, you know, it fits. Okay. And
And
go ahead.
my question tonight is revolving around a very karmic entanglement I'm in with my ex-husband, whom we share a daughter with. And I've been trying to break free from this for years, and every time I think I've gotten it, there's more uncovered, and I just need to be done with this relationship.
Isn't that wonderful? Thank you for sharing that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have no idea how much you've helped probably at least 1,000 people who are going to either be here listening to this tonight or listen to it on my YouTube channel in the future. Because what you're going through is, we've all been through it. You understand what I'm saying? And I know this is sometimes, I'm not trying to diminish your experience, not at all. What I'm trying to say is that it really is part of the human experience. We do have these very powerful, emotionally charged relationships in our lives. And sometimes they're not permanent. Sometimes they, for whatever reason, they need to end. But because they're so emotionally charged, they become very, very difficult to cut. And the reason I'm applauding you is because your question isn't, hey, gee, I've got this thing and I don't know what to do about it. You're not at that stage. You passed that a long time ago. You're now at the stage where, okay, I see everything that's going on and I really need to just break this off. I need to stop it. I applaud you. I absolutely applaud you. I'm going to give you what my guides are giving me. And this sounds very trite, but I'm sure you've seen that, saying going around on the internet that, some relationships are for the moment. Some relationships are for a lifetime. Some relationships are just for the experience. So this is really the question of what you're asking. You and he and your daughter have been in a triangle situation probably for many lifetimes. And you have come to understand that because of your experience with what's going on. Now, I want to point something out here, if you'll bear with me, looking at the astrology chart here on the board. This is not your astrology chart. This is what we call a horary astrology chart. It answers everybody's question who's on the call this evening, which is kind of amazing that it can do that, but it does. Now, right here is where Cancer is. That's the sign for Cancer. This house is the house of the child. And that talks about, that's also the house of romance. And this is the house that your sun sign is on. Part of the fourth, because it's 22 degrees, part of the fourth, which is home and family, which you're most grateful for, but also your fifth house. And the fifth house is about romance and it's about the child. And this is perfect right now because we just had an eclipse. This summer we've had 3 eclipses. You folks have heard me talk about them. The eclipse that happened on August 11th was 19 Leo. It was right in between, right near this Mercury, which is the child, falling to the North Node. So here you are thinking in terms of how can I move away from this relationship with my ex-husband, away from that relationship, moving my child away from that relationship as well, which is what you're trying to figure out how to do, and be able to move into a future that's free and clear of all those gooey, sticky entanglements. Now, one of the things I'm going to say about this you're not going to like, and that is that the thing that is creating the harshest entanglement and the greatest difficulty for you is that your child is in the mix. And you are not going to be able to resolve that situation until emotionally you remove your child from the mix. So your resolution of this problem, of this whole situation, has to be between you and he. What's happening is that bringing the kid into the mix is allowing control issues to go on and on and on. Somehow, and I'm getting the feeling, how old is your kid? Because I'm getting like teens. How old?
She's 9. She's soon to be 10.
Yeah, so she's just coming into those teens is what she's doing. And I think she's what you would call precocious. She's a little bit older, in her, not so much in her emotions, but in her intellect. So
Yes.
she's in those teens already. And this sign, Leo here, is where that is occurring. And Leo is, guess what? About the father. So your daughter can't see her father the way you see her father. You get that, right?
Yes.
And what's happening, remember I said the moon is connected to Neptune? Emotional issues are becoming clear. You are becoming clear on the tremendous manipulation that's been going on involving him for a long, long time. You're now understanding that he can use your daughter, who really loves and cares for him, and you don't want to take her father away, but he can use your daughter to control you. And you become very clear on that.
Yes.
And here's this other eclipse that happened all the way back in the beginning of July. This is when you first began to get really, 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 really clear and took your emotional knee-jerk reactions out of it and said, wait a minute, this is pretty clear what's happening. And that's because you had a lunar eclipse right here at 5 degrees, right on the south node, which you can see is still right here. And you had friends and you had family members who are friendly to you, pointing it out and saying, what's really going on here. And you have finally gotten out of your own way and said, I really don't want to see it, but this is true. And here's the dilemma. How do I solve this problem where this man can no longer control me using my daughter? Okay? The hardship here is that the only recourse you have is tough love. You have to sit down with your daughter and explain to her that her father is not the same man that you were married to. And she can get that intellectually. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
See, as a husband, he was one thing. As a father, he's a whole different thing. Now, as she grows up, and I'm hearing 17, she's going to come to an understanding that, guess what? He really is the husband. That's the personality. Because you see, as she grows out of her childhood and goes into her teen years, he's going to start doing the same things to her directly that he's been doing to you for years and years and years. And so she is going to have to get those hurts. And that's going to be part of her evolution. It's going to be part of her coming to an understanding that mommy is not really the one to blame here. It takes two, but I can now see him as he is. But unless you let her have that evolution of the process, she's never going to be able to have, get this, a healthy relationship with a man when she's grown up. Because what she has with her father isn't real. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, so you're trying to protect her, and my guides, you've got a grandmother coming in who says you should know. Sorry, but her words, you should know better than this. So apparently, when you were a kid, somebody tried to protect you from the same type of situation, and what happened? You ended up repeating the same pattern.
Yep.
And you have an opportunity here to stop your daughter from repeating that pattern simply by being completely upfront with her. I won't stop you from having whatever relationship you want with your father because it's important to you, but I think he's going to hurt you. I just got to give you that warning because the man I was married to isn't the man you see as your father. But it's okay. Just don't draw me into it. You got to leave me out of this mix. and your daughter is sharp enough to get that. Did you hear?
Yep.
Man, she is smart. What's her sign?
She's a Libra, so is he.
Okay. So this is interesting too because when you have two people born in the same sign, one's a parent, one's a child, the child is always far, far, far more evolved than the parent because, they're dealing with the same sign. So the child gets into that and really can bounce off of the parent, kind of like a trampoline. and reach a higher level of insight and understanding. Have faith in her, okay? Have faith in her. And realize that, yeah, is she going to get hurt? Yes. But she can also handle it. Okay?
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. And
Thank you.
my guides are saying you already knew that answer. So this really, for you, was just confirmation. Good for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And thank you so much for being that open and sharing that with everybody else on the call. Because as soon as I heard you asking that question, I can't begin to tell you, I do thousands of readings a year. And I can't begin to tell you how many of those people that I'm reading for have the same exact issue going on in their life, where they have one relationship with their spouse, but their kids have a different relationship. And what do I do about it? How do I protect them? And the answer that I usually, not always, because every single case is individual, but the answer I hear coming through from my guides more often than not is that you have to let your child deal with this on their own. You cannot protect them. It's part of their journey. Okay? So good luck to you. And Lisa, who is our next caller?
All right, our second victim for the night.
Now
We're going to try her again because we always a victim. We tried her last month, and last month she couldn't get unmuted. Janet, let's see if you can get unmuted tonight.
Hello.
Wow! Yay! Hello, Janet.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hi, how are you guys?
we're good. So, Janet,
Okay.
where are you calling from? And what's your sun sign?
I'm a Pisces, and I'm calling from Pennsylvania, and my family is the most important that I'm thankful for.
And, that's not surprising about family being so important right now. I want to show you something. Tonight, we have a T-square. This is Chiron, healing planetoid in Aries. We have Venus, what I want, what I love most, in Libra over here in the House of Relationship. We have Mars up in Capricorn, and we have Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn all the way up here at the top of the chart. Those three signs are, if you follow my cursor, they're forming what we call a T-square. There's the bottom of the T, the line, the vertical line. Here's the cross on the T. When you have these three planets, could you just shut your mic down for a minute so we don't get whistled? You can open it back up when you get to your question. But these planets are creating a T-square, which comes out into the fourth house. And the fourth house is about family. So most everybody who is on the call this evening is either got family issues or is really happy and pleased and has the most amazing gratitude for their family. And also, my friend Janet, since you are a Pisces, here's this full moon that fell right on top of your sun and has Neptune on it. So you've got a few things that are coming up emotionally, and you're a little confused. Okay? So what's your question?
Well, my real question is, and I've been wondering this for a long time, my mother had passed away years ago, and we really don't know what she passed away from, but I have the same symptoms as she does, and they don't really know what I have either. So do you have any idea what she passed away from?
Well, first of all, I've got to ask you, because we've got a few, there's some confusion here, which is not a surprise when Neptune's there, because they're telling me it had something to do with her heart, blood circulation, or something in her chest. So what I was going to ask is the symptoms that you are getting, and by the way, the bottom line there is heartache. Okay, heartache, long-term heartache that just didn't go away. Okay, you get what I'm talking about. So,
absolutely.
Now, so are these your symptoms?
Well, I guess so. I have all of it too, but she really did.
Yep.
She really had a lot of heartache.
Well, and see, it's interesting in the tarot. I'm going to show you this card so you can actually see.
Okay.
The Rider-Waite Tarot is the version of the tarot that I use. And
Yes.
this is a Three of Swords that came up. And it actually shows a heart on it pierced by three swords. So you can see how it's a nasty card. It just looks like heartache. But it actually can talk about a physical heart problem, blood circulation, or something to do with the chest. But it also means heartache. And I have always found that so interesting that the same card in the tarot, that means this tremendous heartache, also has these physical connotations. And, give some thought to it. When you have long-term stress, anxiety, fear, living with people maybe who are negative, constantly feeling bad about this thing or that thing, not being able to let go of the losses and the deaths and saying, okay, I'm going to hurt again tomorrow. When you're in that type of circumstance and producing that kind of emotional pressure on yourself day in and day out, what kind of toll do you think that takes on your physical body?
Yeah.
Okay? So
I agree.
so the big question for you, because obviously she's dead, we're not concerned about her, we're concerned about you. Okay?
Right.
So the big thing really is, what are you doing that's going to change your pattern of living your life away from hers? What are you doing to bring joy into your life? And what kind of physical exercise and physical activity are you doing? Because that's a great way of relieving pressure and tension. And what are you doing in your life to step aside from the burdens, the obligations? And what are you doing to step aside from the people who feel like your whole job in the world is to sit and listen to them spout negativity? Because you get all that stuff. So what are you doing to change?
Yeah. Well, that's my question. That's why I think I have the problem, because I can't get away.
Saying, okay, when you said, how come I have the same symptoms as her, and she died, and they never knew what she died of. By the way, she died because her heart stopped. Okay.
Yeah, right.
and why did her heart stop? Because she basically willed herself to not be alive, and you get that, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what can you change in your life that's going to change the whole paradigm? Isn't it time?
Oh, absolutely. I just don't know how to do it.
Well, what's a little thing, you can't, I think when people say, I know that I need to make a change, I don't know how to do it, it's usually because they're seeing this big picture of, wow, I might have to move halfway across the world and sell all of my stuff and change my profession and dye my hair a different color, They feel like I've got to make this. Now, obviously, change can happen in that sweeping way, but rarely does. Change really begins with a single step. And we have to start to get ourselves to adjust to making change. So each day when you get out of bed, think of something little that you can change in yourself that day and how you handle something. So maybe you do your laundry on Mondays like my mom did for her whole life. Well, maybe this week you change, and instead of doing laundry on Mondays, you're going to wait until the weekend to do laundry on Saturday. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Each thing that you do in life, maybe you always take care of the grandkids on Mondays, Fridays, and Wednesdays. And next week, you're going to say, I can only take care of them on Monday and Friday. I need Wednesday off. You need to find somebody else for Wednesday. One little change at a time. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Okay? And if you do that, it's totally doable. And you will take yourself out of your mother's paradigm.
Okay.
Okay? By the way,
I'm not really doomed yet.
on that same note, and this is very important, so everybody listen, it takes 21 days to build a pattern, a new pattern. Okay?
Okay.
So, for example, if you are trying to stop cigarette smoking, okay, it's going to be a real bear for 21 days. After 21 days, it gets easier because you now have an ingrained pattern. Okay? Likewise, if you decide that, you're going to make some little change in life, maybe when your husband turns the channel on the television and you always get upset because you were watching that show, the next time he turns the channel on the television, you just get up and go in the other room and find a good book to read, go back, sit in the other chair, put the light on, and read your book. Okay? By the 21st day of having done that, the 21st day of initiating that new pattern, that new way of relating to him, changing the channel. Instead of yelling at him, you go get out your book. The 21st day, you've got a new pattern. Now you're at the point where you would really rather read the book than watch most of those shows. You see? 21.
Yes.
Magic number. Okay?
Okay. Hey, thank you so much.
You're very welcome, and good luck to you.
Thank you. You have a nice night.
You too. You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And Lisa, who is next?
All right, our third person tonight is going to be Jessica.
Hello, Jessica.
Jessica, Jessica,
hello?
There you go.
Yep, I can hear you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So my name is Jessica. I'm calling from Toronto, Canada. I am a Gemini, and like most people, I'm thankful for my family.
Let's hear it for Gemini. I'm one too. And yep, this is a family night. I'm hearing it.
It is. It actually, my question is about my niece, not myself.
Mm-hmm.
So she's been having some trouble in school, panic attacks.
Jessica,
Oh, sorry, yeah.
What is your niece's sign? Her sun's sign?
She's a Virgo.
Okay, go ahead.
So problems seeing dark things at night, thinking dark things. My sister has taken her to our local, she's very active in her local Native Friendship Center. And there were two, they called themselves seers, who told her that my niece has some very strong abilities. And I've recently started taking your Psychic Development 101 class because I too have always been interested. And so my question about her more is, I've shown her some of your, the progressive relaxation, some of the protection techniques. And I just wondered what else we could do to help her protect herself, because she's wanting to jump 10 steps ahead.
Yeah, and how old is she right now?
Sorry?
How old is she now?
She is 11, going to be 11.
Okay.
So we're not really sure what else to do to kind of rein in the things she's seeing and the thoughts she's having.
Well, first of all, and I also have a question. When you said you took her to the local Native Welcome Center, I'm assuming Native, that's Indian, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to tell you right now, and this is going to sound terribly prejudiced. I don't mean it to sound that way, but it's going to sound that way. I can't make it different.
Okay.
I have, in my own personal lifetime, had brushes with many Indian shamans. Okay?
Okay.
And the ones who aren't real, you know, the wannabe shaman, the white, I call it white people wannabe shaman. They're people who like to go to all the powwows and study with shaman and like to do the pretend thing and think they're wonderful. A few of them have written books, and they are not, they're not dangerous in any way, shape, or form. They're just interesting people who know some tricks. Okay?
Okay.
But the real Indian shaman, the like for real ones,
Yeah.
and they're all different. It's not like there's one way to be a shaman. There's 100,000 different ways to be a shaman. Every tribe has its different shamanic studies, and every shaman trains his alkalites differently. So here's the problem with Indian shaman. They reach a point in their development when it's almost difficult to call them human in the same way that the rest of us are human. They can put on a happy face and they can socialize because they know how to interact, but they have moved into a level of development where they're actually perceiving the world itself in a whole different way than we normal humans do. Okay? Now, to be aware of that, if she is involving herself with the wannabe shaman, she's only going to learn very surface cursory things, and there isn't any real difficulty there. But if she's involving herself with a real shaman, you actually need to get another real shaman involved to make sure that the first one is doing something that's safe with her. You see that? Because you won't be able to tell.
Yep.
Okay? And I know that sounds very convoluted, but, shaman don't have the, Indian shaman aren't trained the same way that I train my psychics. They have an entirely different set of values, which from my perspective is kind of like they don't have values. Okay?
Yeah. No, I know.
The end just, right. The end, for them, the end justifies the means. Okay? Which is why the way that you can, if she's like going and studying with a real shaman, the best way to keep a handle on it is to make friends with another shaman from a different tribe, and that way you can kind of keep tabs. Do you see? Now, notice I didn't say stop her, okay? Because the worst thing that you can do, I remember I was 11 once, the very worst thing that you can do with an 11-year-old is say no. Because the instant you say no, what do you think she's going to do?
She's going right after it.
Exactly. So the best thing you can do is exactly what you did, which is to take her to the place where she can get a little bit of training, or let her do the studies online along with you that you're studying. Allow her to proceed. Do not let her study mediumship, okay? And you can you can tell her Sandy said this. What happens with young people is when they move into their teens, their pineal gland, which is associated with the third eye, grows to the size of a swami. Okay, it grows very large, and that's all teens. And their psychic ability, especially if she's already very sensitive, it just goes off the charts, which is great. It means that they can see people and talk to people and do all these wonderful things. The problem is that they're so open and they have no defenses, and they were very, very easily invaded psychically. And one of the things, and now I'm going back to Indians, I have known at least 3, which considering that I haven't known like tons of, it's not like all my best friends are shaman, okay? But I've known at least 3 shaman during the course of my lifetime who have taken over teenagers and used them as alkalites, used them to where they had no will of their own, okay? Which is why I say get a second shaman to look over the first shaman. And make sure you teach her psychic protection. Let her read through and play with all my tips, okay? Because they are those are things that are going to keep her on her toes. And teach her that when I think it's important to teach her how to make a connection to her own higher self and her guides. And she will learn that if you're studying with me, she'll learn that in my psychic development level 3. And actually 1, 2, and 3 connect you to your higher self. Level 3 connects you to your guides. Very important for her to learn those things, because then she's going to have a strong built-in protection that will always have a little voice inside of her that says, don't go there, when somebody's trying to get her interested or influenced by something which could be invasive to her.
So guides.
And I want to thank you very much for asking that question here, because we have so many super psychic kids in the world today, and a lot of them do not understand, why does mom not want me to do mediumship now? Now they would know why, because they're so open that they don't know. If they haven't learned to protect first and they invite something in, it could be literally taking them over for the rest of their life. So what I say is don't teach someone mediumship between 12 and 18. For those 6 years when that pineal is so enlarged. After they're 18, fine. Okay? So the kids that come into my classes I don't allow anybody in who's under 12. And if they're under 18, they have to drop out after level 3, which is when we enter mediumship. We enter mediumship in level 4.
Okay, so we're stopping at level 3.
Yeah, and I'm strongly, if you've got a teenager who wants to study psychic development, I strongly recommend that she or he studies it with you. They should always have an adult that's studying it with them, not to control them, I mean, they should have the freedom to explore all their own abilities, but so that they have somebody to bounce their things off that come up. I had this dream that was frightening, or I'm getting these future-oriented things. What do you think of them? Do you see? So I
Yes.
thought that, and by the way, the fact that your niece is open enough to go to you and go to her mother and talk to you about these things, absolutely wonderful, because that's going to help to keep her safe. And whatever you do, don't shut that off. Don't ever say you're wrong. Say, okay, how do you think we can work around this? Let's help you get your feet on the ground. Okay? It would also be a good idea, depending on how open she is and how much stuff is going on, for her to work with a child psychologist or a school psychologist who is open-minded, okay, and isn't going to shut her down or make her feel like everything she's doing is wrong. We don't want that. But to work with somebody that she feels that she can confide in and talk to, who's trained psychologically. You see?
Okay.
Or maybe
Yes.
a priest or a minister could do that same function.
Okay.
And that would give her somebody outside the family who's not a shaman or a magic or a psychic practitioner, but who's open-minded enough that she can talk to and bounce things off of, who can give her some direction.
Perfect.
Okay?
Yes.
Again, a great question. Thank you very much for asking it. That was a good question.
Thank you so much.
And so many people who have kids need to know that information. Thank you. Thank you. And who's our next victim, Lisa?
Alrighty, our next person is going to be Alicia.
Hello?
Hi, Alicia.
Hello. My name's Alicia. I'm from Mississauga, Ontario, and my sign is Leo. My question is, I'm thinking of making my own home business. Do you see it going anywhere?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm looking right at this chart here. Remember I said that T-square comes out into the fourth house? Well, that
Yes.
fourth house is the home. It's not just family, it's the home. So,
Yes.
a business question, and by the way, Virgo is business. Here it is in the sixth house, which is your everyday life. And here's the 10th house, which is career. And you'll love that because it gets you out from under the thumb of some very aggravating administrative stuff and people, which is great. You've apparently been thinking about doing this most of the summer because these eclipses have been hitting Leo dead on. Bam, bam, bam. Here's the thing, though. Gemini here on the fourth cusp says, while you're getting that home-based business started, keep your day job going. Do you hear that?
Yes.
Okay. So for a while, you're going to have the incomes coming from both jobs. And then when it's obviously not going to equal the home-based business, isn't going to equal the other job salary initially. So at some point in the future, you're going to have to bite the bullet and do the scary thing of quitting the day job and jumping full-time into the home-based business when it's not really earning as much as it needs to, but when it has your complete and full attention, you'll be able to pick up the slack. But the guys are saying that's going to take 3. Now, whether they're talking about 3 months or March of 2019 or 3 years, I'm not sure, but you'll know. Okay?
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Good girl. Good luck to you. That sounds exciting.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
You too. And who's next, Lise?
All right, our next person is going to be Becky. Becky, you're unmuted.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Hi, Becky. You're welcome.
My name is Becky. I live in Austin, Texas. I am a Libra, and actually, I'm most thankful for my health tonight. There's been some health issues that have come up this weekend in my family, and I'm just really thankful for my health.
Good girl.
So
that's nice.
My question tonight is, could you tell me my spirit guide's name and just a general, what do they want me to know? Like, what's the most important for me to know?
Okay, the first thing I heard was Jack. Okay, now, that could be, I'm going to tell you the possibilities here. It could be his name actually is Jack, but it could be he's telling you the J. Like it might be Jesus, but he would know that I would think that was crazy. So he gives me Jack to give me the J. So that's possible, you see.
Okay.
The other thing is that Lisa, who is my assistant in the chat room, her dad's name was Jack. So this could also be a way of them telling me that your spirit guide is your father. Okay? So you got three possibilities there about the name. And the second part of your question was?
And just what do they want me to know the most?
Okay. And now, Lisa, I hate that your dad's doing this to me. You got to tell him this. Because now, all of a sudden, he is showing me this beautiful red rose. Now, the reason I say I hate that Lisa's father is doing this to me, because Lisa's father always tells her he is around by showing her a red rose or any color rose. Sometimes it's one rose, sometimes it's two or three. And he means different things by the different colors or the different numbers of flowers. So what I would say to you is that your spirit guide's name begins with a Jack. He is your father or a father figure, and his way of communicating with you is going to be through flowers or roses. He's going to send you these things. Wow.
Okay.
And Lisa, I'm going to ask you directly, since your father had input into this, what would you like to add?
Well, maybe if I clarified, then Dad will leave you alone. His name is Jack. Red Rose is something that he sends me for every single event that is special to me. He's not missed in 25 years that he's been gone. His birthday is this month. I am a Libra, and I am a Texan. That is why he has chosen to come through for Becky. So thanks, Dad, but leave Sandy alone.
But honestly, Becky, he would not have come through with an answer for you unless that information wasn't also pertinent to you. So I think it's really nice that Lisa just got information on this call that she normally would not have ever gotten. Thanks for letting us know, Lisa. But Becky, that's also for you. So this isn't a it was for him. This is your information. Just so happens that, he was able to get a message to his daughter too by giving it. Okay?
Okay. My father is living, so you feel like it's a fatherly figure.
Yeah, if you had a close relationship like with one of your grandfathers or an uncle when you were a kid, it could be that person.
Okay.
Especially if his name started with J.
Okay.
But what she said about the flowers is very important, especially the rose, because when you see the color of the flower, and I don't know, I have a feeling that, you're not always the flower lover, but there are specific flowers you will love and you'll see and you'll be attracted to. When you find yourself getting attracted to a specific flower, look up what that flower is significant of, and look up the color, what the color would mean, because you're getting messages, but apparently you're getting them in that way, same way that Lisa's dad communicates with her. Okay?
That's awesome. Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome. Okay, and who's next, Lisa?
Couldn't find my unmute button. I lost it my own little self. Sorry, coughing attack. Okay, our next person is going to be Cindy.
Hello, Cindy.
There you go.
Hi, Sandy. My name is Cindy. I'm from Daphne, Alabama, and I'm an Aries. What I'm most grateful for is you guys teaching, educating, and informing people about the world and the psychic world. And I'm learning a lot, and I'm just grateful that you're around. You help clarify a lot of things. So thank you. So my question is, so I lost my husband 2 years ago, and I've not been able to emotionally leap from the house that we owned together until 2 weeks ago. I signed a lease on a new place. I finally did it, and I have some concerns about selling the house that we're in. There's some electrical, plumbing. There was an addition that was done years ago that doesn't have the right kind of approval that I would like for it to sell the house. And anyway, I'm just wondering if mine or your guides or my husband may have some specific information about selling the house. I'm worried about the buyer, money, everything. So
Okay. Here's my suggestion, and I want to thank my friend Eunice, who actually is a realtor up in the St. Mary's area for the little bit of knowledge here that she has given to me. You need to find a realtor, and sooner rather than later, who will come in and look at your house and evaluate it, get any inspections that you need on it, and give you some recommendations, but most importantly, has access to the construction people that can be recommended to come in and take care of those things. Because, frankly, this is, I see, matter of fact, I can just see it. My guides are telling me very powerfully, very slowly, a potential block to selling the house that you are creating, i.e. it took you 2 years to get to the point where you know you need to move. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you've got this new place, and you're kind of a little excited about it, but now you're creating reasons why you can't sell the house. Do you see that? And my guides are telling me this very interesting thing. They're saying that your husband, the one who's passed,
Right.
is happy with the move you're making. As a matter of fact, he's been trying to motivate you to kick you out of the house and make you move, frankly, since before he died. Okay? So apparently you're really attached to this place. For good or for bad, you're still attached to it. It may be that you just saw it as this thing that I had to keep putting energy and money into, an energy and money, and you're just not done. The thing is that you can put energy and money and your life force into that place for the rest of your life.
Right.
Except that you can't afford both places.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing that? Big, loud, symbols. You can't
Right.
afford them. I mean, right now, in this month, you can afford them. 3 years from now, when you poured all of your money into fixing this place up, you can't afford both places.
Right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, here's the suggestion. Again, get a realtor who's got and a good realtor who does resales is going to be able to have access to construction people that would help to fix places up. And what you do is you put that realtor in the position where she's going to help or he's going to help to bring the companies in. You get the estimates. You don't just give a carte blanche. No blank checks here. You got that? But you need a realtor who's well informed, who can say, if we fix this, and this, I can get this amount of money for this house. That's what the realtor needs to say. And then you go back to the realtor and say, okay, do you know the company that can come in, ideally a general contractor, who has the capability to fix those things, and can you get me prices so that I can see which one we're going to go with? And that gets it fixed. It's not something you have to look after, because if you have to look after each one of these things, literally, it's that Gugat monster on the other side saying, "Oh, good, we really got her now." Okay, we don't want you doing that, and neither does your husband. Okay, he says, "I'm getting all these threes. I'm seeing, apparently there were always triangles of one sort or another around you. It was hard to just have a relationship because there was always the house to take care of, or the kids to take care of, or the parents to take care of. It was always this triangle stuff." Okay. So he's gone, but you're still creating this triangle stuff, and you're doing this all by yourself. So you want to be free of it so that you can have a life. Don't keep recreating it. Be conscious of what you're doing. Okay?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
By the way, if you follow what he and my friend Eunice and my guides and your guides just said, the house would sell probably, all that work can be done, and the house would be ready to sell between March and May of 2019. So it's not as big a deal as you think.
Wow, that's really a long ways away.
Well, the thing is that there's a lot of stuff you want done, and it has to be on the market. Now, the other thing you can always do is you can put it on the market as a handyman special. And that's another option. And if you did that, you could probably have it sold by October.
Right.
Okay.
I have a plumbing issue that I think vines are coming in, and the whole city has a plumbing issue that there's a current legal involvement with, and I'm wondering if the city would have to come in and deal with some of the water issues in the front.
Well, not if you do it really fast. It's not like they're going to say, no, you can't sell your house. But
Right.
through disclosure, everything that's coming up has to be disclosed.
Right.
These are comments. The exact thing you said to me. This is what you need to be talking to your realtor about. So you need a savvy. You just don't need any old realtor. You need someone who's been in the business a long time, who understands how this stuff works, who is going to give you honest. Am I better off selling as a handyman special, just unloading it? Am I better off having somebody come in to do all this work? And if so, let's get costs. Let's see what the price difference would be. And you need a good realtor who's going to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I
Okay.
can do that. You've got a good head on your shoulders yourself. You can do that.
Thank you, Sandy.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And we are a little tiny bit over, but I think I have time for one more question. One last one. Who's got a question?
Me. I have a question. Oh, no, I never get to ask one. Alrighty. Maybe somebody will ask my question. Let's go down here. I know I'm going to not pronounce this name correctly, and my apologies. Make guy. It's Makyee. You know who you are. I'm going to unmute you.
Hi there. Yes, my name is Mackie. Hi, Sandy.
That was very good, Lisa. She pronounced it right. That's good. Beautiful name, by the way.
Thank you.
Mackie, where are you calling from?
I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I'm an Aries. I am most grateful for being guided to you and to another artist. I do all kinds of art, Sandy. I'm a certified hands-on healer, and I'm currently learning about and practicing autographs. And my question to you is, can you help show me what are the things that I need to work on to achieve in the future to be of service to people for the better and to help many people?
Mackie, you are already doing the work. You're already on that route. So the first thing you need to do is to give yourself recognition, okay, that you have followed your intuition and you have put yourself in the right place at the right time. Each time you needed to learn the next step to take the next step. So you are and have been on that journey, okay? And you're also wise enough to know that the journey has a long way to go yet. My guides are saying that the next step really, I'm assuming you're already studying with me or are planning to, because the next step is really the development of the psychic abilities, the third eye, the pituitary, opening the crown, being able to get into a better channel than you have been. There's your next step. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much, everyone. Once again, I just want to remind you folks, the next Psychic Hour, September 30th. Please put it on your calendar. Also, if I didn't get a chance to answer your personal question, you can send them to me either at the email on the GoToWebinar site or lisasa.inc@aol.com, and she'll forward that to me, and I will answer that question. Just don't put me on a timer, but I promise you I'll get to it. And remember, my 20% off sale goes through August 31st, and my 50% off my tarot program will go from now all the way through the end of September. So there's so many good things coming up. And I'll be back September 30th with another Psychic Hour. Thanks so much for coming by. Blessings on you, everyone. This has been delightful. You are wonderful. I love you all. Good night.